We're back. You guys love comparisons. Today we're going to do bison versus beef brisket comparison. We're going to show you where it comes from. We're going to get seasoned up. We're going to go all the way through to the grill. There's the beef front. And there's the bison front. So you can see the two hanging side by side. Obviously the bison's a lot leaner. Beef's got all that fat cover on it. Let's get these briskets pulled out of here, and we'll start doing some comparison and get them on the grill. So we count up 5 ribs. I'm just gonna make my cut. There's the beef, bison. So normally we would put these on the saw to peel them out of here, but I'm just gonna peel them off hanging on the carcass, because then we'll go into our further processing. Be a little bit tougher this way, but once you get them started, you can normally just peel them out of there. There's the beef brisket. If you're wondering about the ink on it, that's food grade ink that's stamped on there that's passed by USDA inspection. So that's all that is. Just get a little bit of this fat taken off. So I'm just going to trim these down to how we would typically sell them. And then we may choose to trim them a little bit more before they go on the grill. That's the beef. That's pretty much ready to be trimmed a little more and seasoned and put on the smoker. On to the bison. Now the bison's going to be significantly smaller. They just naturally are. But the hanging weight on this, compared to the beef, it weighed less on the rail too, so it is going to be smaller. We know that. Smaller and less fat usually means a quicker cooking process. So there's your bison brisket. Much easier to pull out of there because of the just less fat. It's not as hard. So there we have bison and beef. Look at the size difference. Let me just throw these on the scale real quick.
Got a tear on there, buddy.
13.15 and 6. So the beef brisket's twice the size. We'll have to factor that in when we smoke them. We're going with the black rub. Molasses, coffee, creates a fantastic bark. So stay tuned. We're gonna get these seasoned and we're gonna get them on the smoker. Bison versus beef brisket. saw us light the grill. It's out there smoking away. We came in, you saw us trimming these briskets. You can definitely tell the difference between these two. Beef, bison, obviously huge difference, more fat, bigger size. It's gonna be real interesting to see how these smoke, what kind of time frame, etc. Jeremy's gonna get them seasoned up, then we're gonna take them out, we're gonna get them on the grill.
First on both of these, we're gonna hit them both with a layer of Brock to get some extra salt content out of here. We're not gonna go too heavy on the Brock. We're gonna go a bit heavier on the black. Don't forget to season all the sides. All right, you can see we got the beef one already, and now we're gonna move on to the bison one.
So Jeremy's using the shaker. The black comes in a 5.5 ounce. The Brock is in a 6 ounce shaker. Now, you can also get those in a bucket. 4-pound bucket of Brock or black, your choice, comes with the shaker, keep that in mind. So we got real nice new black buckets. So if you're doing something like this, you can tend to go through quite a bit of seasoning on these big items. So keep in mind, go get yourself a couple buckets. We're headed to the barbecue pit, follow us. I think we can both fit through the door.
Nope. If you want my honest opinion.
Welcome to the smoke shack. We're gonna get these on the grill, get the meter probes in them, get the temp set, and rock and roll.
When you're putting the gloves on, you
How'd that
use
go?
the grippy.
You want them all in?
Yeah, you might as well spread them out.
Camera, bro, you're blocking the camera shot. Okay, all right. So right now we are loading wood chunks. We've got premium wood chunks from the hickory tree. These are the best wood chunks that have ever been hickory grown. And now that they're loaded, we will need our grate. Anybody know where our grate is? And we are ready to smoke.
Smokes are rolling.
You know what makes good barbecue? Patience. You know what Perkins don't have a lot of? Patience. Today
That's why we have the Steiner brothers.
we're being patient.
These boys are full of patience.
We've lit the grill. We've let the grill stabilize. Then we've started building our system of racking. So that's going to begin with the one-piece basket with 2 half-moon ceramics. Then we've put a pan, a foil drip pan that we've got 2 16.9 ounce bottles of water in. Then we have our grate. Then we have our second tier, which is part of our green egg setup. This is nice and handy. That's going to slide back like so. You saw us add the wood chunks. Now we just let everything stabilize. And while that's stabilizing, while we're getting our smoke converted from that white bitter smoke to our nice sweet blue semi-transparent smoke that gives you that nice clean smoke taste, we're letting our seasoning sweat out on our brisket. So we are taking all the steps, we are using all the patience so that we get premium barbecue on this cook.
These briskets are ready to go on the smoker. As you can see today, we're going to use our meter probes. You can see on the screen here, You can set your target temp, watch the internal temp, watch the pit temp. So it's really an all-in-one tool. If you're interested in these, you can check the affiliate link out on our website to purchase one. And we'll show you how well these guys work today. As for briskets, we're going to put this Bison brisket on the top rack. And this beautifully trimmed beef brisket is going to go on the bottom rack. And from there, it's just a waiting game. We're going to let these go for about 3 hours and not even look at them. After 3 hours, we'll start checking them, see how the bark's going, and check an internal temp, and we'll go from there. So we checked these things at 3 hours. They weren't quite where we wanted them, so we just let them go another hour. Just took a quick peek, shut the lid, let them go. We just took another quick peek. They are about where we want them now. So you can see this Bison brisket on top, tightening up, bark set good. Have a little moisture here, but that's not a big deal. The beef brisket's still behind a little bit, but it is cruising along how we want it to. The Bison brisket's about 165 degrees, so we're going to go ahead, take it off here, and wrap it. And like we said, these Bison briskets, bison in general is a lot leaner, so you can see how much it shrunk up. Because of that, we're going to go ahead and just add some bison tallow that we render down in here, just to add some natural fat content back to this brisket, just to try and keep it moist and get some good fat flavor in there. As you can see, we're just going to leave that meter probe in there. So we're going to get this wrapped up. So that's back on there. We're going to let this go for probably another hour, and we'll start checking it. It is going to cook quite a bit quicker than the beef one. Whenever it's done, we're going to take it off, let some of the hot air out, and if we have the time, we'll do a heated rest on it. We'll put it on something we can run at about 165 degrees and just let it chug along until the beef brisket's done. Okay, just shy of 6 hours. As you saw, we got the Bison brisket wrapped. This beef one is coming along really nicely. We'll take a look at it, and it's actually about 175, 177. Bark set real nice. We're going to go ahead and wrap it and push it through and get these done. Same thing, we're going to add just a little bit of tallow here. A lot of bit of tallow apparently. Go ahead and get you a look at that. Same thing again, we're going to leave our meter in there. We can monitor the temp. Now our Bison brisket is nearing done, so we're going to watch that pretty closely here. And it'll be done probably within the hour. We're assuming this beef one is only going to take probably 2 more hours or so, but we'll keep checking in on it and we'll go from there.
Old Charlie got himself into some big trouble about 5 weeks ago. He got into a fight with a groundhog and he shook his neck so hard that he ruptured a disc and he paralyzed himself. And the good news is he's almost back to a full recovery. The bad news is he's about 8.5, so he's not quite the young dog that he used to be. But we're glad that he's doing better because he's our old shop dog, Chuck.
Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Very mean today.
No. Just checked our meter app. This Bison brisket is where we want it, right around 200 degrees. And along with the temperature, we're just as worried about it being probe tender. And it was. So we're going to go ahead and get this pulled off of here. And what we're going to do is we're actually just going to let it sit out here on the tray for a little while. And we're going to let it cool down to about 180 degrees. Then we're going to transfer it to another grill that's going to run around 165 degrees. And we're just going to let it do a heated rest until this beef brisket is done. And then we'll try and do a side-by-side comparison of them both at the same time. Okay, so we're doing brisket. we're gonna show you a little fun recipe. What goes better with brisket? Homemade coleslaw. So we're gonna run through this quick. Ground mustard, salt, vinegar, sour cream, mayonnaise, our zesty lime seasoning. This takes it to the next level. And sugar, and obviously cabbage and carrots. So let's get this whipped up quick.
Tastes like coleslaw.
Okay, so we got all our ingredients in there. Just as important as the ingredients is actually letting the coleslaw chill in the refrigerator for a little while. So now that it's all set, we're gonna let it sit in there for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just let all those flavors marry together. If you're interested in this recipe, you will be able to find it here.
I don't see it.
Right around the 8-hour mark, our meter probe is telling us we're right around 200, 201 degrees. It's probing really nicely, like hot butter. We're gonna get this thing off. We're gonna get it chilled down a little bit, probably to about 180. Same thing as the bison brisket. Once it cools down a little bit, we're gonna get it on another grill that's running a lower temperature and let it do a heated rest for a little bit. Once that's done, we're gonna set them side by side and cut into them and see how they taste. All the way done. These things got plenty of time to rest. So we'll take a look and see how they're doing now that they're finished. As you can see, the bison brisket shrunk up quite a bit, but we have faith that it's still going to taste plenty good. So we'll get it out of here, cut some slices up, get everybody a taste test. Still looks good.
Looks great. It's juicy.
It is juicy. Probably not as juicy as the beef because again it was a little bit leaner, so not as much fat content. Still looks great though.
Looks like the black did the trick on the bark.
As always.
Nice bark on it.
Not as much fat content. Still has good tear to it.
I wonder if it tastes like bison.
It might taste like bison. I thought you guys were going to go back there. But you're not.
There's meat being sliced. Of course we're going to gather around.
Are you going to cut that whole thing before we get to try it?
Yeah.
You know, Jeremy, you really rocked it out of the park today. Nice work.
I appreciate that. All right, before somebody bites my hand off.
Right. It's hot. I do know that.
Smells good. That is delicious. It's got
Here it
a
comes.
really nice,
Here it comes.
Tastes like bison.
really nice. I would say beefy. It's got a really nice bison-y, like just
There it is.
meat. All those spices in there. Obviously, you've got the smoke flavor and then that black spice.
I do have to point out that smoking a bison brisket and having it turn out juicy and not dried out is pretty hard to obtain. So
That's what I find most impressive is that this,
it's not dried out at all.
because
No.
of the anatomy of the bison, their pec muscle, their chest muscle that we're eating right here, gets a lot of use from that big heavy head, that big front end, and it's not as tender as beef in that particular area, but this is nice and tender. I know what I'm looking for. Sweet. It's got a nice sweet flavor to it.
Definitely got a different. There's like a twist on it compared to
Yeah.
a beef one.
Now we will try some beef.
You want me to get rid of this for you?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that was juicy.
That'll eat.
Did you get to try the bison yet?
I did. It was delicious.
Very similar, but that twist that Josh mentioned, the bison just has a little bit of a sweet twist to it. This one, just a fantastic brisket. I mean,
Slightly more tender, and to be expected just because the bison's leaner. So automatically it's going to be just not quite as juicy, but both phenomenal.
that was a good bite.
Beefy.
Beefy,
For
tastes
sure.
like
There's
beef.
to it.
You come over here, you get some of Jeremy's coleslaw. Get you a couple nice slabs of brisket. That is a summer barbecue meal in the making right there.
Both delicious, both tender, which I think is remarkable because the bison is harder to do. It will have a tendency to dry out, but in this case, stayed nice and tender, still moist. Flavor similar. I like the little sweetness to the bison, but I also like just the tender, buttery flavor of the beef. So neck and neck, I would say, on these two.
I knew there was a reason I didn't eat much lunch today.
Yeah, right?
Killer job.
Very nice job
Nice work.
on the barbecue.
Hey, you did good.
Good job all around. There's your comparison between beef brisket versus bison brisket. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, thanks for watching The Bearded Butchers right here on YouTube as we continue to bring butcher, season, and eat right here on YouTube.
The entire process. Until next time, see ya.